I don't really believe that Nigeria will be great again, but individually, we can be great.
We act as if it's only here that there's a problem. There's a problem in Ghana, there's a problem in South Africa, there's a problem everywhere. But they don't trip out where we trip out like, hey, there's fire on the mountain.
The reason why they are opening up their borders is not because they like you. They are using you to develop their society.
You can't blame them now. Maybe the frustration of the country. Like, imagine coming out and you're earning like 30K a month. You're a graduate and inflation keeps increasing. How are you going to survive?
I am actually against investing in Nigeria.
Against?
Yes, as someone who has already Japa, investing in Nigeria, it's more like you are just giving away.
Nobody with Japa is a poor person. UK announced that they processed about 250K applications from Nigeria last year alone. If 100K people start a business and employ 3 persons each, that's 300K people out of poverty. So imagine the amount of money we are taking out of this country every day, every year, and we say our Naira is getting back.
The only people that do not see that Africa is the future is Africans, and it is so, so sad.
Here are the prompts we'll be discussing on today's episode. Please signify if you agree with the prompts. People who japa or migrate are selfish.
I would say selfish in a way. I think that they are trying to chart a course for themselves away from a country that has failed them. So it's like, if Nigeria can't help me, I'm going to help myself. But then here's where that selfishness, even though it seems like a good thing, can be a bad thing. Right? The countries that you are going to were built by people. And everybody's always criticizing the government. Government is really just a collective of people. If Nigeria is going to be better, it's going to be built by people. Like, the Japa wave is seriously affecting our economy as it is right now. Nigeria has one of the highest youth populations in the world, yet our young people are leaving. Ideally, we are supposed to be a productive nation because we have the highest youth population in the world.
Anytime someone wants to migrate to another country or place is inherently selfish, because you want to migrate for greener pastures. In the 1920s, America had an open door policy when people from all over the world was migrating to America. You had a lot of Italians and Irish. In the 50s, 60s, there was a come to the Commonwealth, to UK, come to the motherland, where you have the Caribbean, the Indians, even Africans come to UK to build Britain after the Second World War. And migration is not a new phenomenon. I'm like a second generation British citizen. My mom is a first generation. My parents moved back to Nigeria in the mid-2000s because the country was better. With other UK Nigerians or American Nigerians moved back because the country was better. Now, those same people are moving back to those countries because the country is not the same as it was. All you come here and do in this December is because the country has failed them.
Can the disagreeers now speak?
I don't necessarily agree that everyone who japas is selfish. Some people, when they leave, their idea is to leave completely and to have nothing at all to do with Nigeria. But there are other people who actually go abroad for the sole purpose of educating themselves and advancing their careers. That is noble. It's now down to them to decide if they are going to use everything they have learned to come back and help their fellow countrymen. My name is Olukayode Ajayi. I'm a writer. I'm on the side of stay in Nigeria. The only reason that I would want to japa is to go abroad, upgrade my qualifications, get a master's degree, and potentially gain some work experience, enhance my skills, and come back to be a difference maker in one way or another.
I feel like there's a lot more people today that have lived and have been born abroad, and then they come back because they feel like there's a need to. So much of what Nigerians today are enjoying is as a result of someone who has traveled and has seen something and is like, oh, I think this thing is amazing. I think I want to bring it back. There are some people too who like travel and don't want nothing to do with it. People also change their mind too. For me, I didn't travel because maybe I didn't want to come back. It was more so a thing of convenience, and it was more like a family relocation. But I never stopped talking about Nigeria because I grew up here. For someone to say that I'm being selfish because I traveled, I just think that's a little bit too intense.
I wouldn't want to call them selfish. They lack some information about what they are doing and what they are meant to do. I did a research a few months ago and I realized that UK announced correct me if this figure is right or not, that they posted about 250K applications from Nigeria last year alone. These are the people that applied for visa, and probably many of them are Japa people. Nobody with Japa is a poor person. Those people are millionaires. Because to Japa, you need at least 5 million naira. Ticket alone is about 3 million naira. Now, these are the people that you need to build this country. Now, with 5 to 10 million naira, that's what my problem is. Why do you think of Japa if you have that kind of money? With that money, you can set up a studio like this. If 100K people start a business and employ 3 persons each, that's 300K people out of poverty. So imagine the amount of money we are taking out of this country every day, every year, and we say our naira is getting back. So that's, I think, they lack the knowledge of the impact of what they are doing to their country and to themselves.
I'll use myself as a practical example. I had about 5 years of experience as a nurse. My salary was not up to 70K. How much is a bag of rice? How do we afford rent and all? And I got the opportunity to go to England and work. My employer did everything. They paid for the flight and all. So why would I say no? One way or the other, being there, I sort of support my family. In one way or the other, also boosting the economy here. We traveling out is not being selfish. It's just that we want to do ourselves better. I don't really believe that Nigeria will be great again, but individually, we can be great.
What it is, who make it
not
great?
The country itself, but we individually can be great if we determine to. My name is Samuel Otubela. I am a registered nurse, a singer-songwriter, and a YouTuber. I left Nigeria 27th of November 2022. When I got my first salary in Nigeria, I still remember the precise amount. It was 33,000 naira. You know, for someone who was probably getting 5,000 naira allowance in school, that felt like a huge amount of money for me. But then later on, didn't really feel like something much. But when I got my first salary in the UK, it wasn't usual amount I should have gotten as a nurse, because you need to do some things first to be qualified. But I was quite happy because I was able to do something that I could have never done. I could have never imagined I would do with a month's salary, with that salary.
When I think about selfishness for people who want to leave, I think of people who want to abandon the country. There are people that once they get to the airport, they dust their
You can't blame them now. Maybe the frustration of the country. Imagine coming out and you're earning 30K a month and you're a graduate and inflation keeps increasing. How are you going to survive?
That's not a problem. You are a graduate and you're earning 30K a month. I don't know how to get out of that.
No, it's not.
And you're a graduate.
You can't get out of that.
It's not that easy to get out of a job.
You can figure out how to Japa. You can figure out how to increase your income in Nigeria, honestly.
Did you go to school just to become a graduate? As a graduate, you're able to think yourself outside the box. Think yourself through poverty. Think yourself through solutions. Why are you a graduate when you cannot think yourself?
So, for example, you're an English student. You graduated with education. You live in the mainland. You go to these different schools within your neighborhood, and the director of the school is telling you they can only offer you 30K a month, or at max, maybe 40K because you're a graduate. Then you get another opportunity on the island and you're earning maybe slightly a little bit more. But the transportation from going to the mainland to the island is a lot. The actual amount you're getting paid at the end of remember you're getting paid at the end of every month. Meanwhile, abroad, you're getting paid bi-weekly. And then this same person that has both opportunities have an opportunity to travel abroad. And you're telling them to stay to build Nigeria.
I can answer that. That is not a graduate mentality. If you are thinking of, employee, get a job, that's not a graduate. A graduate is meant to foster and produce solutions. As an English student, a graduate, you could start in your own school.
Those schools don't have the funds?
You can start from somewhere. On the other hand, you can start a YouTube channel, teaching people English. You make your money.
What if some people don't want to be in front of the camera? They don't want to speak.
Yeah, it's not everyone that has
their passion to be content creators.
They probably studied the wrong course. Studied something better then.
Okay, even doctors. Some doctors are highly underpaid. Yes, and they've studied
Everybody's
7, 6
underpaid.
years.
Everybody's underpaid in Nigeria.
Teachers abroad, it's not like they're earning a lot of money. So the point I'm trying to make is here in Nigeria, wherever it is that you are, you have to understand your environment. She doesn't have to teach.
What if that's her passion? So she should kill her passion because the country cannot afford.
I can count on my fingers 10 people I know that started in just one room. Today they have big schools. Big things start small. No matter of employee mentality. Nobody wants to be an employer. Nobody wants to be an entrepreneur.
Not everybody wants to own businesses.
That is the problem.
My name is Sophia Okorafor. I work in real estate management and also a real estate investor as well. I left in 2018. I've been out for about 6, going to 7 years. I've met a few people that just believe in waking up in the morning, working for a company. They don't really want to stress about owning like a huge company. Some people don't want to be like billionaires, as funny as that sounds. Some people just want to live in a society that kind of allows them to be themselves, but at least they also want to earn well.
If I knew that I would end up being an entrepreneur, then why would I go to school to study something I'm passionate about?
Passionate about it, you studied it, now start something about it.
For example, now, as a nurse, now I can't possibly start a hospital all by myself without any capital.
Why can't you?
Where will I start from? Where's the capital? It's not
there are
possible.
people who can help you.
Without connections, I will not be able to get
I can tell you that for free. There are people you apply to that can help you with the finance to start something. Because people who are not educated start something. I wonder why people that are educated, people that go to school can't start something.
But you can't expect someone to say, I have a English lecture, that English degree. I want to have an English school. You need to have capital. And capital is not especially hard to get in this country. You need to get loans. And those loans, their interest rates are incredibly high.
That's what makes you an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs knows the way out. I can take you to Oshodi. I see some boys under the bridge. Those boys control 500,000. They did not go to school. How come a graduate cannot raise capital and an illiterate can raise the capital?
In Nigeria, you make more money doing a legitimate business.
I don't say these guys are doing illegitimate business. They are doing legitimate business. But what I'm saying is that we need to come out of this mentality of government has to do this for me or I need a job. Nigeria have enough working class. We need entrepreneurs to boost this country.
If you are smart enough to get yourself to Japa, you are smart enough to chart a reasonable career path for yourself.
Thank you. That's the point.
And
Smart.
do well.
Sorry, wait, where's my chair, I beg? Sorry, I'm supposed to do this standing up. Director. Oh, sorry guys. I'm Fadi Ewa from Cruise. Whether you jackpot to stay abroad or you jackpot so that you can come back to build your dream life here in Nigeria, one thing is for sure, staying connected to the people you love is priceless. And here at Cruise, we have something super fire to help you with that, Lemfi. Lemfi is a fast and reliable application that allows users send money back home to family and friends. Nigeria and these 22 countries can receive money from Lemfi users internationally. Unlike other platforms out there, Lemfi is inexpensive. They have pretty low exchange rates and zero transfer fees, which means the people you care about can get more for less. Come on, show them some love this December by clicking the link in our description to download it now. Also, we've got something special for our Crusaders outside the country. Come closer. You guys get £5 for free when you sign up with our referral code CRUISE. Let them know who sent you. Now, let's get back into the episode.
Japa-ing or migrating makes you a second-class citizen.
I think it's obvious, like in my story earlier, like racism, like you would just know that you're not here. And another thing that I even want to mention is like when you travel, your children lose touch with your culture and where you are coming from. Your children will be lost because they can't speak their language, they don't know the culture that they are coming from. And even the people that they are staying with and the country that they are living in will never accept them as their own. My name is Toby Dada. I'm a videographer and I am on the side of stay. If you have family and friends abroad, they will tell you some of the horror stories of what they are going through. It's like there are some people that they are collecting money from their family members here to pay their rent. They won't tell you. There are problems everywhere. If you can find a way to succeed here in Nigeria, it is that same level of grit that is required to succeed wherever it is in the world. If you're not educated, you don't have productive or bankable skill, by the time you travel, you're going to be working in McDonald's. The same quality of life that you have there, it's not going to be that different. It's just that you have lights.
No matter where you go, even if you go to Europe, you go to the Middle East, you are never going to be 100% accepted as one of them because a European is a European. It's in their DNA. You are African, it's in your DNA. And this is the only place that you can be 100% accepted.
Now, I understand your point for experience. I experienced it myself. I was walking with my friends, also Nigerian, and saw a couple, and a white woman was clutching her bag. That's the whole point. We are guests in that country.
Your dark skin, there is considered maybe a little bit like, I wouldn't consider myself as a light-skinned person because light skin too have their own especially if you go to school there, the fact that they're hearing your accent, or they even hear one very big surname or last name. It's like, even if you have your citizenship, even if you've been there all your life, they will always see you as a visitor.
The reason why they are opening up their borders for immigration is not because they like you. They are trying to build their economy. They are using you to develop their society. So you are taking all your God-given knowledge and advancing their society while your society is rotting and dilapidated and you don't care.
My immediate younger brother, he jackpot a long time ago. I think about 17, 18 years now. And one of the stories he told me was that if he had known, he probably still be doubting to go. He left in the early 2000s. When he got there, the first thing was like, oh, let me get my papers so that I can become a legal citizen. What do you need papers for? To be able to get a good job, to be able to live a better life. Now you got the papers, you still can't get those good jobs that you dreamt of. Even when they apply for a job, they tell you, okay, just hold on, let's see if somebody else needs that job. If somebody applies for that job, then we give you. If somebody from somewhere, some far away, comes and says, okay, he needs that job. Even when he already has a job, or he's okay, sorry, we can't give you, this person needs a job. They get it. Just because that person is white and you are not. He told me that was his own first time experience. So even after getting the papers and all those things, you still don't get what you dreamt of. So if I shifted the goalpost in the middle of the game, you will always be a second-class citizen. That's what they're telling you. My name is Fred Alabi. I'm a certified Microsoft Systems Administrator. I'm an IT manager from Oyo State, Nigeria. I'm a typically born-bred Nigerian, and I like it here. I'm on the side of stay. I've seen stuff, I have data, and I think there's hope. Some of these people don't have those data, and they don't know how to survive in this Nigeria of today. All we need to do is to change the narrative, and we can get back to the better days, and things can get better. When you are not equipped with enough skills, and the next thing you want to do is just find solutions somewhere. Everybody wants it where it's easier. So I wouldn't say they're really lazy, but they're not working hard enough.
Nobody has actually called me out on being too dark before until I went out. Then I was like, oh, so I'm actually too dark. Just to disagree with a bit of what you said earlier, if I went to work and I'm being paid, then I'm not being used. I'm rendering services and I'm being paid for that service. If I no longer want their payment, I can just quit the job.
I think you're being used because they're paying you in paper. In the olden days, they don't use paper. This monetary, what we use today, they use goals and all those things. And those days, labors are valued. Because if I work on your farm for 1 hour, the amount of gold or calories you pay me, I know what it's worth. But paper now, they can print paper anywhere and give you. Is that what you are laboring for? Printed paper?
But that printed paper can get the gold.
Paper that you bring back to Nigeria and then
And it will keep appreciating.
you're already automatically a millionaire just by bringing how much because of the valuation of the currency.
Both of you just basically told my life story, basically. Growing up in the UK, my last name is Akinshaw. My actual first name is Akintunde. So double A automatically going to be the top of the list of the register. At one time, a teacher said, like, I'm going to have difficulties pronouncing it. I said, don't worry, you can try. I was the only black kid in school at one point. I had like a photo, a school photo of me, positioned right bang in the middle. I didn't notice it. I was like, until like 19, 20. We all made jokes about it anyway. The Western countries are not native to us, so they have every right to not treat us the same as they treat the people first when it be us. 2012 season, when John Terry, like racial abuse, Anton Ferdinand. And Anton Ferdinand is mixed race, but he's also brother to real Ferdinand. And there was lots of visceral back and forth between that. So if the football players can get it, why wouldn't I get it? No point in saying make a second-class citizen is school fees. So in the UK, the home students will get like 9,250. For international, it's 2 times the price.
Honestly, I don't blame them.
And we won't blame them because
country.
it's their country. There was a time, I think it was 2012, or around like a London university took their license of taking international off. And when I went to the University of Sussex, they said like, please take your attendance seriously. Please go to your lectures, because if you go below 80%, you get kicked out. Not from the school, from the country. What would they tell the UK students to? 8% you get kicked out. You get kicked out, you go back home to where you live, basically.
It's not only outside of Africa that we get treated as second-class citizens. Even in Africa itself, like Egypt, you can get treated as a second-class citizen just because you have a Nigerian passport. Even in Nigeria, for example, the school I went to, the indigents are to pay this amount, non-indigents are to pay
See, it's a natural thing for human beings to behave that way. Since we all agree to this, let's say it this way, it's a natural phenomenon all across the world. We do the same thing to ourselves, even here. Even here in Lagos, they tell you are not a Lagosian, you don't belong here. So it's only worse when you get over there, when you know you probably shouldn't be there.
Our passport is one of the worst in the world.
Why wouldn't it when we keep going to their country? See, let's look at it. Let me paint the scenario for you. You have a family, it's tough in that family, and your kids keep going to the next door neighbor to beg for food. What do you think the neighbors will think about you? At the point they're going, hey, stop coming here. You keep coming to beg for food every time. See, we are trying hard to get things done here too. So go fix the problem. We have our own problems too. There's a problem everywhere, but we act as if it's only here that there's a problem. There's a problem in Ghana. There's a problem in South Africa. There's a problem everywhere. But they don't trip out where we trip out like, hey, there's fire on the mountain. I agree there's a problem, but let's fix the problem.
Hold on a minute. If you're not subscribed to the channel, here's the perfect time for you to smash that subscribe button and like the video if you're enjoying the conversation so far. Now, let's get back to the show. Nigerians abroad have a responsibility to send money back home.
My answer to that is a bit kind of nuanced. So, I mean, like, remittance of foreign currency is a huge source of foreign currency, right? Crude oil is not really doing a lot for us. Send money to your parents, do all of that. You're helping the economy. Even though you have left us, that's something you can do. Invest. Tech space is popping right now. Like, foreign companies are coming to Nigeria to set up VCs. Right? Be part of those funds. Like, I feel like that's a good way you can really contribute to Nigeria's economy from there.
I don't know about other people, but someone like me, I did not want to leave, but I had to leave because of my situation, family situation and stuff. I have to send money to support my parents, siblings as well, and a few good friends. Before you leave, you know how you left home. So that would have prepared your mind. Okay, when I get there, make some money, send some money home. But then there are some people that are entitled. Maybe they need money to take their babes out. They will send you a DM like, oh, I need money for this. There are some people that I could suspect that this person is doing well. Why asking me for money? So I'll just speak with some of other friends. And then they'll be like, oh, this person is doing okay. And one way or the other, I would find out he actually didn't need that money. He just wanted it to flex. So I don't have responsibility to those kind of people, but I have responsibility to my family.
I think there's a responsibility that comes with it, especially if you did not take or you didn't fund yourself to go there. A lot of times, most people who travel also leave their parents behind, their aunties, and I believe it takes a community to, raise a child. So there's no way if I'm sending money back, I'm not thinking about my aunties that lived with me, also thinking about people that also have it not so easy here as well. So to me, I think it's a responsibility. Even if it's not a lot, I would still give, but not to the ones that feel entitled, of course. So.
Can the disagreeers now speak?
I would say it's not a responsibility because they work for their money. They earned it. If they could choose to spend it on cigarettes if they want. They could choose not to send any penny home. It's only out of their magnanimity that you're sending money home, especially if they went abroad out of their own money and they're not owing you anything. Actually, it's difficult for anybody to be abroad and not send money home, unless you don't have family or there's one way or the other, somebody you are sending something to regularly or frequently.
So like he said, I don't believe it's a right, but if your family members are in desperate need, that's when I would say, yes, then you should send to them.
Also, it also makes sense if people helped you along the way. It's just a kind gesture to, okay, thank you, pay them back. Where I join the line is where people feel entitled. And when I send the money, how does the money is used? Or something happened, a funeral, and we're all supposed to pay for the money. And somehow it's expected of me to pay the most because I'm abroad. I will feel slighted in a way because I'm making money here. What are you doing over there?
When you talk about entitlement, don't you think some people are entitled to you or to demand from you, especially your parents? Should they be asking you before you send something to them?
My name is Jeremiah Kinshawan. So I was born in Nigeria, but I was raised in the UK, and I came back to gain work experience. So I'll eventually leave the country, go back to the UK. For parents and like siblings, it will make sense to send them money because you grew up with them, they raised you and they took care of you. Yes, it's someone like a close friend helped you. I'm more inclined to help that person because I only see that person do well. And also working in Nigeria, found that sense of entitlement, and that's where I like sometimes draw up a line, basically.
When it comes to those kind of people, they're entitled. I think they are naturally entitled. Families, parents, they're entitled. It's a matter of if you have enough to do it. If you don't have it, you can't kill yourself. So when it comes to them investing in Nigeria, I've seen a lot of people investing in Nigeria, they're having problems. That's a whole topic on its own. Sending money down here for businesses, I think they need to be careful. When you want to send money here, send money and forget it. Not sending money and monitoring the money. That one, you will crash.
I am actually against investing in Nigeria.
Against?
Yes, not that I don't like Nigeria, but the thing is, around 2018, if you remember the exchange rate of pounds to naira.
I definitely remember.
Okay, so right now, £1 is like 2,000 naira.
2018 was like 500 to 700.
And if I had invested like £100 to a business, like 2022, and I have generated a bit of profits, if I should convert it back to naira, it would almost be the same thing. As some of us already Japa, investing in Nigeria, it's more like you are just giving away.
Yeah, that's economics 101 I should know. Investing in Nigeria is never for your own personal profit. Because when you convert the money back to your currency, it's like, it doesn't worth it. You are investing to help your people or to help your country, not because you want to make profit.
But I think it's always good to just have something in your home.
It is very important, something to fall back on.
Because you don't know tomorrow. Tomorrow you might decide you want to come back. What are you going to come back to?
Yeah, especially owning a property is very important. I've seen people lose a lot of money trying to invest wrongly. They have good intentions, but they are doing it wrongly and using the wrong people. And they hate Nigeria for that. But it's not Nigeria's fault. They did the wrong investment to the wrong people. So know your economics well before you put your money anywhere.
So invest in Nigeria with the mindset of not making profits?
No, buying a property is profit already because you're going to appreciate. But doing business like you said, maybe you buy something you want to sell. Because of that exchange rate issue, it's going to be a problem. Unless you do business here, whatever money you make here, you do other business here, start multiplying it here. If you're thinking of making the money back to you over there, you're not going to get that money.
I believe the purpose of investment is to make profit. If I decide to invest in real estate in the UK, even if I probably come back to Nigeria, I'll still be making money and it would mean much to me in Nigerian naira than me investing here in naira and then wanting to take it to the UK. It doesn't make sense.
There are no problems in Nigeria. You only need enough money.
So in Nigeria, the trick is use your money to isolate yourself from the institutional poverty. That's what it is. So you're building a moat around yourself. There are estates where you don't know when NEPA takes lights. You don't know when power grid goes off because they have their own generator. In Nigeria, if you have enough money, you will feel it too, but to a very large extent, you are covered.
I second that, especially when the exchange rate is like where it is right now. I know a lot of people who earn in foreign currency and are basically living the best lives, basically.
While money may not solve all problems, like you said, it would at least solve almost everything. So if you have money, you can provide for your needs. And once you are able to get food for yourself, most of your problems are done with. So. And
I'm going to use myself as an example. One of the things my siblings had told me before I came back was that the lights, they're going to take lights. And mind you, they're over there, but they're telling me like, yeah, you're going to have to go through this. And in my head, I'm like, still, I'm going to figure it out. When I actually came back, the first time the light blinked, man, it hit me. But then at the same time, I had told my mom, like, you know what, like, don't worry, I'll pay for the fuel, again, because of the exchange rate, because I can afford it. Once I'm at home, like, if there's no fuel or if there's no light, she can always put the fuel. I'm ready to cover the cost for that. So, yes, money can actually buy extreme comfort in Nigeria.
Can the disagreeers now speak?
Even if you have money personally, I can tell you some personal problem. You won't drive on the road alone. Even if you have a Lamborghini, they won't clear the road because of your Lamborghini. You still meet that keke on the road that will scratch your Lamborghini for you. You still get to bank, you still have to probably queue up or something. You have to queue up filling station. They won't shut the filling station and open it for only you. You have to queue up to buy your fuel.
You said to the...
Maybe Davido or like Whiskey or someone.
So you will not queue, you just jump queue and I'm there. We'll buy
you
the
will
fuel.
be surprised. It will happen right in front of your face.
You've not seen when they've closed the gate in the filling station, but some people still enter.
That's true. There's very treatment. I agree with that. But God forbid another NSAS or a pandemic. I remember during the pandemic, I couldn't get my phone out because when you put out, if somebody is begging you for money, and somebody that is so dear to you that I can't ignore this person. But you yourself, you are under the pandemic too. The best problem in this world, I'm not taking care of my money. Take care of policy. Let's say today they say fuel go back to 500 per liter. There will be a huge change between today and tomorrow. That is not money per se. It's just a policy. Even personally, if you have all the money in the world and people around you are poor equally.
No matter how much money you have, you're still going to drive on the roads of Nigeria. There are potholes. If you are speeding and you enter a pothole, your car will somersault. You probably end up in a ditch. A couple of years back, I can't really remember what airport that was grounded because there was terrorist attack. Imagine you took a flight to that state now. Your plane was grounded. The train incident, the Kaduna to Abuja train incident that happened, you took a train. Oh, you're balling, you have money. That happened and you lost your life or you lost a loved one. You are in a high-rise building. You think you're living your best life. You're living on the 26th floor. And it collapses. That happens a lot in Nigeria. You think money is going to protect you from the things that are happening around you, but I don't think it will. You will still experience Nigeria in one way or another.
Most of the things you have mentioned are natural hazards. That is anything that can happen to anybody.
Have you all noticed something recently that when you are driving your car, some kids just come and start dragging your side mirror, or God, madam, begging for something. You realize it's on the rise these days. Even with your money, you can't deal with that.
You give them now. If you have them money.
Give them, there are plenty.
Like if you have
One
money,
is
you
there,
won't
one is
mind
there, one
giving
is there. There are
them.
plenty. And when you wind down, they put their head inside there and you can't shut your window again.
You do like Davido. You tear one stack, throw it outside.
Then you are inviting more.
There is still hope for Nigeria.
So first of all, I have a problem with that word, still hope. There's ever hope. Nigeria is not as if it's dead or something else in the ICU. There's always been hope from day one. There's still hope, and there'll always be hope. It's a matter of what you see and what others don't see. For you to be rich in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, you need information. If you don't have access to this information, you say Nigeria is bad. People are still making it in this country as it is. So it's not a matter of there's still hope. It's a matter of you finding your own hope and making things work for you while you are here in Nigeria.
I believe there's hope. If you look at other nations, let's say, for example, China, around the time we got independence in 1960, I believe we're more or less on the same level. Nigeria was expected to be this African hegemon, maybe not on the same level as the Western powers, but would have a say on the international stage. But that did not play out that way. If China could come from nothing to challenging the United States and the Western-led world order, why can't Nigeria do it? Let's look at the United Arab Emirates, Dubai. I'm sure we've all seen pictures of what Dubai was in the 80s, in the 90s, a desert with a few buildings. And look at Dubai now, the most attractive destination. There's always hope for Nigeria to be better.
To answer the question of whether or not there's still hope for Nigeria is a matter of perspective. The growth of a country or an economy, it's constantly shifted. Like 100 years ago, the US was not a world power, right? The collective of countries that were world powers were in Europe. There were a series of events that led to the US becoming the world power, right? And I believe that Africa is the future. But then the sad thing about Nigeria and by extension Africa is that the only people that do not see that Africa is the future is Africans. And it is so, so sad. Nigeria is going to rise. It's not a matter of whether or not, it's just a matter of when. Why this thing is so sad for me is that I may not see Nigeria rise in my generation. And that's just the truth. And that's the reason why a lot of people are Japa-ing. The people who chose to stay and thug it out here in Nigeria are the ones that would have built generational wealth and are the ones that are going to be employing your children and your children's children by the time, things turn around.
Can the disagreeers now speak?
Dubai, they made their oil resources, made use of oil resources. Now they can do anything they want with their money. But what we do in Nigeria is we don't use our resources well. You have the Kansawi or Goni people. In that area, the people are suffering. The place is so polluted they can't drink or fish there. We have lithium in the north, we have gold in the north, but the people are the poorest. I had hope until after NSAS. That's why I lost all hope, basically. Every political leader we have now is associated with the political leaders in the 60s.
Hope is like you don't know when it's going to happen. And honestly, I think when NSAS actually happened for the first time, I actually thought that was actually when people came out and really protested. And that protest was very, very like inspiring. It was like everywhere around the world. And in that moment for me, like I was thinking, maybe this is going to probably be like the real break, because most countries, even the US today, the Black people in the US had to protest to be able to gain their freedom from slavery. So you're thinking, okay, maybe if you do protesting and all of that, maybe the government or whoever is in charge of Nigeria is going to actually hear you. And instead, it's like they do the opposite. Like in that moment, if somebody tell you have hope in Nigeria, does that even make any sense to you?
I think we need to define what you actually mean by this hope. For many of the Gen Z generation, their kind of hope is when Nigeria will be like UK or when Nigeria will be like US. Hope to me is when I can come out of my house, I'm safe, I can afford the things that I want, electricity is stable. To me, that's hope.
Ever since I was little, as I can remember, my parents have been saying things like, oh, back in the days it was good, this and that. Hopefully Nigeria will be great again. And to my age now, I'm not that old. It's like it's just getting worse every day. And, we keep praying and doing everything, but nothing is changing. And that's why I don't think it can change anytime soon. I don't think there's hope for now.
For now.
I know that they say when there's life, there's hope. But I just came for holiday. Even the things I saw at the airport, I was like, Nigeria can never change. And it made me feel discouraged right there. Like, why did I even come here?
When I talk to younger generation, there's always this point where they look at change from government. Change starts from bottom. It's never from top down. It's always from bottom up. If Tinubu lives there today, somebody else comes there, things might not change the way you expect it. The changes you really need is for you to be okay as citizens. All your rights protected, everything you need to get, you get there at least to some point. So if you fight for that change that you want, you will get there. So protest, to me, is the key, but it's not the only way. To me personally, I don't like this democracy, but I think it's not meant for Africans. If we have good policy in place, things will change. We can foster and bring the change that we want if we keep hanging and knocking on the door. But if we keep jackpotting, that change will not come. I have many friends that are telling me, hey, you people if we do Nigeria well, we'll come back. No, we will not do it well. We'll come back and we'll do it together. Thinking and praying about it is not going to work.
One thing I always tell myself is just because I've traveled doesn't mean I cannot come back and add to the nation. But I think being a patriot is traveling, experiencing a different life, a different space, seeing stuff you can add back to the country and actually coming back to Nigeria and implementing that.
The world is opening up. We all know you don't have to be in the UK to be earning pounds. You have to be in the US to be earning dollars. It just depends on how you position yourself.
For anybody who is planning to japa, it's worth it if you plan everything.
You have to know your why when you're traveling. You have a very focused mindset too before you travel, because a lot of times you get there and get caught up with like different things and lose touch of why you're actually there.
Stay away from anything illegal because it's not worth it. It's only those people who travel through legal means that can actually enjoy the benefits of Japa.
At the end of the day, it depends on you. I have my convictions, you have your convictions. Just make sure you have your head screwed on straight. If you have successfully jackpad, don't abandon your country.
We've come to the end of today's episode. I hope we've been able to find some level of understanding amongst each other.
First of all, thank God for standing up.
So that person
My legs
that's
gonna
you.
sleep.
Moving around.
Very insightful.
Just trying.
She had to
It's
leave
nice
the
like
in NYC.
Yeah, that's
School
really
starts,
enjoying
school starts.
it.
Your insights.
Everything
Yeah,
starts
So
from
you
the
actually